What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Well, in case you hadn't heard, RFK Jr., who of course is running for president in the general election this year, has announced that none other than Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers is at the top of his VP running mate list. Reading from an article from TMZ.com. NFL superstar quarterback first, Vice President of the United States of America next. If things go the way RFK Jr. hopes, that could be how life turns out for Aaron Rodgers, because the presidential hopeful confirmed Tuesday the Jets signal caller is at the top of his running mate list. According to the New York Times, RFK Jr. said he's been communicating with Rodgers for most of the last month, and they've talked about the role, and Rodgers is said to be interested. Of course, the two, who share similar stances on vaccines and other issues, have grown close recently, with Rodgers throwing his support behind the independent candidate publicly multiple times in the last few months. It's unclear, however, just how Rodgers would do his New York Jets job if he were to be, how he would also be the Jets quarterback if he were also simultaneously running on the ticket of Kennedy. The election is in November, when football is in full swing. The New York Times also reported Tuesday that former WWE star and actor Jesse the Body Ventura is also a strong candidate to be on the ticket. The 70-year-old, who has reportedly also considered Andrew Yang, Rand Paul, and Tulsi Gabbard for the role, is expected to name his official running mate within the next few weeks. Whoever RFK Jr. ultimately chooses, he's got an uphill battle ahead, despite polling strongly for an independent. In fact, RFK Jr. is garnering 15% of voters in a three-way race, while Biden is sitting at 35.5% and Trump at 39.8%. I just want to say this right quick before I go further in this particular video. People who are enthusiastic about Aaron Rodgers running, or the possibility of him running for vice president, I don't ever want to hear you guys complain about Colin Kaepernick or any of these other athletes who you call toxic, who you say should leave politics out of sports. We want to just hear, you guys talk about, you just want to watch sports. We don't hear your political views. We don't want to hear this. And no, last I checked, Aaron Rodgers is an active player. So I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? People that always had a problem with Colin Kaepernick and others speaking their mind on social issues and politics, saying that doesn't belong in the sport. But I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to look the other way or be enthused that Aaron Rodgers may run for vice president on an independent ticket. Now, me personally, I don't think it's going to happen, because I don't see him. There's no way he could run. I don't see how he's going to be able to run for office on a ticket, but also playing football. You can't do that. You got to commit full time to football. So to me, unless he retires. Oh, by the way, I know why they don't have a problem with Aaron Rodgers, because they agree with a lot of shit he says. And some other stuff too, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, if I had to take a guess, man, it might end up being somebody like Tulsi Gabbard, or, if this was a few years ago, I would have said Jesse Ventura, but I don't know. I think he might be kind of past his prime, so to speak. And if anything, I would have thought Jesse would have ran for president himself. But whatever, I don't know if Jesse's even interested. But maybe. But I think of people that they named, probably Tulsi Gabbard is the most likely candidate. She's a woman, which is important in today's atmosphere. And as they said, RFK Jr. is 70. Tulsi Gabbard is a younger woman. She's in her 40s. So that might be important. Now, me personally, I don't think I'm voting for RFK Jr. Um, it's particular reasons why I've soured on him. Though I do agree with him on a lot of various issues, there's a particular reason why I've soured on him. I'm not going to talk about it on YouTube. But, you know, at the same time, man, same time. Whenever the mainstream media is against a candidate, that means it can't be all that bad. If you notice, the mainstream media is not comfortable talking about RFK Jr. They see him as a crackpot. You know, he's not a status quo candidate. So, anyway, that's all I got to really say about it, man. I don't think that he's going to get 15% of the vote. Usually, in these types of situations, what happens is with these independent candidates, they poll very well in the spring. When people are sort of not really paying a lot of attention, and they might be angry with some of the bickering and some of the toxicity of the campaigns and politics in general. But what happens is, the last month or so, in particular the last 2 weeks of a campaign, voters start really paying attention. And it's serious. They start becoming more serious because they say, well, you know, they start falling for the argument that voting third party is throwing your vote away. So not all of them, but a lot of them start coming home. They start feeling pressure to vote for one of the two major parties. So I don't think that RFK Jr. is going to get 50% of the vote. It's possible he could get 4 to 5%. I can see that. But 15%, I would be very shocked if he got that much. But 4 to 5%, I can see that. And that would be enough, in my opinion, to probably throw the election to Trump, more so. In addition to the erosion of support that Biden's already experiencing with Latinos, Asian Americans, and of course, black voters, in particular black males. So anyway, that's all I got to say in this particular video. Tell me what you guys think.